luck. I have none of it. I am literally cursed. Like, I will roll a fistful of dice and I'll end up rolling on 1. But imagine if instead of my terrible luck, I had the magic of quick saves, able to reload every mistake, every bad outcome over and over and over again until I eventually succeed. Well, it would be kind of boring. Now then, let's talk about how using the quick save and quick load system, or even manual save and manual load, can a lot of the time in most games almost definitely basically ruin an entire game that is inherently bad. This is a practice commonly known as save scumming, wherein you basically reload your game back to a previous save point every single time you end up getting caught, or everyone starts dying in XCOM, or something along those lines. Specifically, this is where you end up making a quick save or saving before doing almost any single major action, so that if it goes wrong, you can just immediately go back in time 5 seconds and redo that action. And I'm not here to tell you how to play your games. However, me and your father have been talking and we do not approve. You can play your games however you want, but it is also important to think about what using these systems ultimately represent. And that's luck. When you finish your adventure, your grand quest, or your murderous escapade,
target down. Well done, 47.
If you cut out all those repeated loading screens, your game plays as if your protagonist is the luckiest person in the world. Despite all the odds, despite fate being stacked against them, they managed to get through. Completely unscathed? Take the Elder Scrolls games or Fallout games. Specifically, the lockpicking mechanisms. In theory, you could find yourselves limited by the number of lockpicks at hand, so when you're presented with a tough chest to open and you've only got 1 or 2 lockpicks, well, those odds don't seem in your favour and things are tense. Only joking, you can just reload every single failed attempt. Why even own 2 lockpicks? You can just own 1. Go around the world opening every door, chest, glass cabinet, all with but a single lockpick. Talk about lucky. In reality though, it's not 1 single lockpick. These doors may as well present you not with a difficulty rating, but instead roughly how many reloads it'll take. Or even, why even have locked doors? You'll get through it eventually and you've got a quick save right here in front of the lock. Sure, stealing someone's trousers off their legs feels like it shouldn't work, but with enough luck, maybe it will. And by luck, I mean time and patience, as you will be reloading a lot.
You come up to me fists raised? You looking for a beating?
But then, if every single obstacle can be overcome with enough brute force, what's really the point of actually having them in the first place? Now, I realise like this just sounds like questioning what's the point even having games and playing games if ultimately they are just going to be completed. And I'm not here to get that existential. No, what I mainly mean by this is that when you are doing this sort of thing of just eventually making your way through a door, a locked door, despite all the odds and just reloading the game, that isn't you engaging with the game, that is you engaging with a menu system. And instead of dealing with failure and knowing how to overcome failure and work your way up from an unfortunate position, you just never fail. Ever. This isn't the failure of a game over screen. No, I mean the failure of a plan gone wrong. Take Dishonored or Deus Ex. These are games that give you a variety of skills and tell you that you can sneak around and never be seen, or go guns blazing and turn into a swarm of rats and eat a man to death.
You're so dead! What's going on here?
While doing this, however, the game turns and gives you a big old wink and a nudge, saying that, really, if you're an assassin, you best hope you're lucky enough to never get seen, as that's how a true hero plays. Did you accidentally jump out of a room and into a guard? No, you didn't. That was lucky that you decided to not do that. What's that? Someone came across a body you knocked down?
Where are you hiding?
Just kidding. You were lucky enough to have your spider sense tingle and sprint all the way over to that body and reposition it just in time. Lucky. But here's the thing. These are games that are so centered about your actions having lasting consequences, but also about reacting to those consequences. Naturally, you're meant to try and sneak around, but maybe if things don't go your way, well, I guess you can let loose the cannon you've got mounted in your chest. Sure, it's not how you wanted things to go, but it's the way things have gone. But hey, at least you're using all the skills in your retinue, unlike if your luck got its way, in which, well, no one would even see you once, so why even touch half the skills? By having this perfect run, this lucky run, you miss out on many of the feelings the game is trying to present to you, like,
There's profit to be made. Bringing
oh
people to
piss, not like this. Fuck!
He's wounded! He's dead! Let's finish it!
But more importantly, thinking on your feet, adapting, turning a mistake into a happy little accident.
Someone help!
I firmly believe that these are the sort of feelings that these games are trying to make you feel and convey to you. But so often, you do it, I do it, we all do it, we just get a little bit lucky and therefore never really suffer any misdeed ever, and therefore never use like half of the game because we just never have a need to use half of the like combat skills because we're never gonna be in combat. We've never been seen before. And it leads to so many of these games feeling shallow and empty because it's no longer like an experience where you're having to like live and react and feel alive. Instead, it's just something where you calculate and work out the optimal path and then eventually do that optimal path. And anything that deters from your plan doesn't happen, just kidding, your plan is absolute. A great example of adaptability-ness would be the Hitman games. These are games that tell you you're there to murder someone, and then dump you in a playground of death and tell you to have fun. This is why they don't let me near parks anymore. Each level has a number of ways to dispose of your targets, and you'll be jumping from outfit to get slowly closer. Closer to your target. Until, of course, you accidentally get noticed and have to take a moment to find a new skin suit. Oh, but in doing so, you've also kind of ruined that kill you were going for, so you better start looking elsewhere. You know what, at this point, let's just shoot them in the head and get out of here. Unfortunately, Hitman does also have this immaculate luck system, allowing you to quick save, crying in the bathroom surrounded by all of your mistakes. Oh god, they just keep piling up. But at least it's a better point in your life than, well, when this happened.
Hey, you!
And this is where I finally begin to come to some form of conclusion. Quick saves aren't inherently bad. Like, I get it. We all have those moments where we want to just blow off some steam and like just go around town murdering everyone. In a video game, that's what I meant. But when you're taking that first stab at that game, at that challenge, having quick saves so readily available Well, it greatly reduces the challenge. What these games need is more Iron Man modes. XCOM, the great tactical series, has a mode where the game saves after every single go. Every action. You miss a shot, you've missed that shot. Your entire force of the greatest soldiers you ever had have all died horribly in an explosion and now you have to start from scratch. Well, that's just happened. Oh, it feels so good to have everything go so terribly wrong. You have to make tough decisions. You have to live with the consequences of your actions. And goodness, if it isn't just what all these games should have. I realise I'm getting away from my whole luck thing here, but genuinely, for every game that touts the dangers of consequences and every action having an impact and gives you a kit of responsive moves and actions, the ability to do dry runs of each one really undoes any tension these things try to build, as you're always just a single loading screen away from taking that one specific action again. The first time you play all of these games, they should automatically put you in an Iron Man mode, by which I mean basically just not having any quick save function, just get it out of here, go away. Because, like, you know, you've got to experience the game naturally for the very first time. Then, like, once you've beaten the game or a level, who cares what you do? Go wild with the quick saves. I don't care anymore. You've experienced something, hopefully. But the first time you're playing, the first time you're experiencing that game, you don't want to luck out too much with your divine intervention, do you? But what about dying? Can't you just cheese the system, cheese the games by dying the moment something bad happens and going back to a previous save point? Well, let me tell you about a little game called Dark Souls. The From Software Soulsborne series of games have you constantly restarting from a checkpoint upon death. But these checkpoints are scattered around at fairly decent lengths. In other games, when you die, you get a game over and then it loads to your last save point, be it manual, auto, the save point. But the key thing with Dark Souls and the other games of that ilk is that you also lose all the resources you gained during that stint. Which I realise is like any other game, but also you lose everything that you used. The consequences of your death are not only backtracking, but now you possibly have fewer, I don't know, prism stones, as well as the various souls and progress towards your next level up that you lost when you fell off that hill. Not to mention that this doesn't reverse time. If you go blood hungry and start hitting everyone in sight, if you die, well, they're still quite angry at what you've done, and rightly so. You have to live with your consequences. I'm not saying that every single game should incorporate basically the checkpoint system from these games. But I am basically saying that the Dark Souls games and games that ape on what Dark Souls did basically incorporate that sort of Iron Man mode system where it's constantly saving after every murder and every action and every accidental misdeed or death. But also whilst doing it like staggered, so you've got long distances and it's like a checkpoint. Oh, it's great. So what am I trying to say in this? What am I trying to say, huh? So what am I trying to say? Well, it's just that I think games that have quick saves in are really boring. Like, that's it. There is no great lesson here. I'm just kind of tired of games giving me quick saves. Like, so many games will present you with this incredible, diverse kit that's all about kind of having very specific uses at very specific times in specific scenarios. But I do it, you do it, we're all human, I hope. You know, we have the access to the wonderful time magic. That is quick saving. Therefore, I'm never going to use half these skills because I never find myself in that moment. Because the moment I do, I just turned back time. That moment never happened. Like, I recently discovered that people do this with the game called Slay the Spire. And like, what? That completely undoes the entire point of the game. Like, the moment an encounter doesn't go their way, they just reload the game, and that way they start that fight over again. Why? You're ruining the entire feeling of the game. I just feel like, realistically, being able to undo all of my mistakes in these sort of games at the click of my fingers, losing a couple of seconds of my life to a loading screen. These games aren't designed around these perfect, lucky, flawless runs. And it just ends up making them hollow, and just, it makes me feel like games, for the most part, like, while they're like, hey, do you want to feel something? They provide me all the ability in the world to feel nothing from their games, and they don't ever, like, try and stop that from happening. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't feel anything anymore. Oh, God. Hello, and thank you for watching my video. It's got weirdly existential at the end. Also, I'm realizing my camera is very close to running out of battery, so I'll do this really quickly. If you like this, why don't you leave a like or a comment about your own thoughts about quick saves and whether or not we should all throw them in the bin. We should. Throw them in the bin. They're bad. Otherwise, you can check out some of my other videos, like there's one here, which was about a board game called Skulk Hollow. You might like that. Or one down here, which is about the game Hades, which doesn't have any quick saves in, or it might have quick saves. It's a roguelike. It's good. Or you can click on my face orb where you can subscribe. Thank you, and goodbye.